Well, today is the last day that we are going to have the Fisker Ocean. My wife and I decided to take the trade-in deal with Rivian. We actually talked back and forth quite a bit to make that decision. We really wanted to buy out, but unfortunately, we weren't in the lawsuit, so we didn't get the buyout option. There was some confusion with the Rivian salesman and Chase when we first talked. They actually told us that we did have the buyout option. And I actually did put it in the settlement video that we made a while back. So I did actually delete that from the video. So if you saw that from my old video, I deleted that because that was the wrong information that I got from the Rivian salesperson. So my wife and I talked back and forth quite a bit, even telling the Rivian salesman that we were just going to keep the Fisker Ocean. But after a lot of conversation and a lot of thought and a lot of uncertainty with the Fisker, we decided to go ahead with the Rivian deal. Now, we didn't do any of the incentives because we just picked the least expensive Rivian that we could find. Basically, the dual standard with no upgrades or anything like that. So to keep the price down as much as we could. Of course, we are going to miss the Fisker Ocean. It was a pretty good car for us. It's just the uncertainty, and then my wife drives this every day, so she had a lot of concerns if she was driving around the kids, if it was going to stop on her or not. The car is running great right now. She just had those concerns and uncertainties, and she was a little bit worried. So we just went ahead and did the trade-in. Now, as far as the Fisker is right now, it's kind of funny. Ever since I made that settlement video, there has been some changes to the car, mainly in software, of course, and in a little bit of a cabin fan issue that we're experiencing now. So the last time I said that we were stuck on software 2.0, and to my surprise, after I made that video and posted it, not even a few days later, the Fisker Ocean started updating. It was kind of strange. It went from 2.0 to 2.1, and then 2.1 to 2.2, and then a day later it went to 2.2.2. So I pretty much have the latest software on the Fisker Ocean. I think the only thing that I don't like about the 2.2.2 update as of right now is that the load time of the center console takes way longer than it used to. It used to be just a few seconds and it would load up. It would take a little bit of time, but now it feels like it's about a minute or two just to load up the center console, which is a pretty long time. But you don't actually have to wait for that middle console. You can actually just put the car into drive and start going, and the center console will load as you're driving the car, or reverse. The reverse camera will pop up as well to help you reverse. That's the biggest difference that I saw while we were driving it with the 2.2.2 update. Other than that, we started getting a cabin fan whine. When you have the fans just blowing in your face, now there's a whine to the fan. I can kind of show you that now. You can hear that. That's the fan kind of whining a bit. The faster you turn the fan up, the louder the whine actually gets. It's a little annoying, but other than that, we've driven the Fisker Ocean for a little bit over 24,000 miles in 1 year. And I wish I could just keep the car, but this is not something that I drive daily. My wife drives this daily with our kids, so she feels a little bit unsafe and uncertain about it. So with that, I do want to keep the family as safe as possible, and this is our best choice. So stay tuned. We have a bit of a drive, so let's take this for one last drive and get the Rivian. Let's get going. All right, we've got the Rivian R1S back with us now. The Fisker Ocean is officially gone. Now, it's also been about 1 month since I made that settlement video, and then about 3 weeks since I made the first part of this video, picking up the Rivian R1S. Now, I've taken that long because I kind of wanted to drive around with the R1S a little bit to kind of get my thoughts together on what to say about the Rivian R1S, and also trying a few different things as well that were on my mind, such as possibly trading in the R1S for like a Grand Highlander or a Yukon or something like that, or possibly even just selling the R1S to like a Carvana or a CarMax just to see how much they would give to me for selling it to them, as well as kind of just thinking through the trade-in process and getting rid of the Fisker and how I kind of feel about that in general. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, my wife and I had a long conversation about trading in the Fisker Ocean for the R1S, mainly due to the price difference of the Fisker Ocean and the R1S. We had a long conversation about the trading value of the Fisker Ocean as well. We were kind of looking through to see who would give us the best value for Fisker Ocean. We even talked to Toyota. Toyota didn't really want the Fisker Ocean. We were thinking about possibly trading the Fisker Ocean in for a Grand Highlander or something like that. There's just not many people who are going to pick up a Fisker Ocean, mainly due to the fact that it's a bankrupt company and there's no more support on the Fisker Ocean. And of course, there are some people who are willing to buy the Fisker Ocean as is, even if there's no support from the manufacturer or anything like that, and then basically taking care of the car by themselves. Now, those are far and in between, and they're not particularly looking to purchase the car for the trade-in value that I was going to get. As for leasing the vehicle, like I said before, I live in Oklahoma, and I saw a comment saying that why didn't I just reach out to a friend or a family member that lived outside of Oklahoma to basically lease out the car. I kind of thought about that as well, but it's really not their problem. This is more of our problem, so we wanted to keep it that way. We didn't want to intrude on anyone else with our issues. Even though our family and friends are great and they would help us out no matter what, we just didn't want to intrude with our issues. One of the things that I wanted to try as well when we got the Rivian R1S was to see how much Carvana and CarMax wanted to give me for the R1S if I were to outright sell it to them. And I did actually take the Rivian R1S to CarMax so that they could appraise the vehicle, and it was like $66,000, so we would have lost like $20,000 after everything is said and done. Of course, there's taxes and stuff like that for the car, and that was just too much to lose on a car that was pretty much brand new for us. Now, we also thought about trading this car in as well for a Toyota Grand Highlander, and then we were thinking if they were also going to give us about $66,000 as well for the trade-in for this car. And if that was the case, the Grand Highlander would be basically the price of this car. We wanted to try that out just to see how much the car would be worth. I also looked at Carvana selling a 2025 Rivian R1S with about 850 miles on it, and they were selling it for $79,500. Now, in no way that I was thinking that they would give me $79,500 for my Rivian R1S. They are a business, and I understand that CarMax is a business. They want to make profit. And of course, as a business, they have to look at their bottom line. They won't give you anywhere close to what they're gonna sell this car for. Same thing for Toyota. We looked at a used 2024 Grand Highlander, and they were selling it for pretty much a brand new Highlander. It was like $62,000 for that used Grand Highlander with 6,000 miles on it. And then a new Highlander that we were looking at was about 58,000. And the new 2025 Highlander that we were looking at and we kind of built out on their website was going for about $58,500. So there's a bit of a difference there. Now, I took out like floor mats and any of the dealership items that they actually add into the cars when they're selling them. So that used car had all those things, but it was still $62,000 for a used vehicle with 6,000 miles on it. I wanted to do this just to make sure that all my calculations were correct when I was trading in the Fisker Ocean for the Rivian. And basically, after doing all of this, it solidified my decision to trade in the Fisker Ocean for the R1S. Again, this was our decision to trade in the Fisker Ocean for the R1S. You do what's best for you. It's your decision in the end. And I wish you luck on whatever decision you made. So that's pretty much it. We've traded in the Fisker Ocean for the R1S. I think in the end, it was a good choice for us to take the trade in. There's kind of been a weight that's been lifted off our shoulders, kind of thinking about the uncertainties of the Fisker Ocean. We do feel like the R1S is much more reliable, and we're not very concerned about any issues that may come with the R1S. There is a service center here in Oklahoma that's pretty close to us, so that if there's any issues, I could take it there. Other than that, the R1S is advertised as an adventure vehicle. And this summer, I think we're going to take an adventure with the R1S. Now, if you want to see that video, be sure to subscribe to Gas and Watts. With that, thank you for watching. Be sure to like the video, and we'll see you next time.